So a very warm welcome to all of you attending this NTI webinar, having focused on how to transform your Autodesk Inventor workflows with NTI for Inventor. My name is René Jensen. I'm based in our Danish department, and on a daily basis, I'm responsible for the software development of NTI, both within the building and the manufacturing industry. I have been a part of the NTI organization in the last 16 years, where I've also have experience in the role as system consultant and a system architect. And since 2023, I've been leading the NTI Group software unit. And with me today, I have my colleague Peter, and I will just shortly hand over for him to present him with himself.
Yeah, hello. My name is Peter, and I'm the product owner of NTI for Inventor, and I have been at NTI for the last 15 years, and I'm based in Vejle, Denmark. So yeah.
Thank you, Peter. So the house rules. All of you are by default muted, but the Q&A is open, so feel free to ask questions or any requests you might have. The webinar will be recorded, so you can also watch it on demand afterwards. And please fill out the survey after the webinar. That will be really appreciated. So with that, I will just quickly walk you through the contents of this webinar. On first hand, I will give you an overall presentation of NTI. We'll also talk about different solution approaches, and for that also provide you an overview of the IP products we have developed specifically for the design and manufacturing area. So after that, I will hand over to Peter, that will talk about how we can ensure quality creating data inside Inventor, but also as how you as an engineer can be provided a status and an overview of your engineering data. And at last, he will also talk about how to publish and how to share and collaborate with the data coming from Inventor. And beside those different topics, we also have a lot of different tools that can ease up some of the tasks that engineers and designers handle on a daily basis inside Inventor. So with that agenda, I think we will have a very good picture of what NTI for Inventor is. So what we do, as NTI, we are the leading full service supplier of digital solutions, both for the construction industry, but also from design and manufacturing and media entertainment industries. And beside that, we also a Platinum Autodesk partner. NTI is actually based in 13 countries, in which 12 of the countries are based in the European region. And we also have offices in Brazil. And today we are plus 900 employees in total. So this is the landscape of NTI. So our customers within the manufacturing area, basically we help companies ranging from small companies to the large global enterprise companies. And our customers include everything from design, engineering, plants, and the process companies, just to mention a few. And we also provide solution concepts that ensure quality in data with an automatic and secure approach within engineering, manufacturing, CAM, and plant. So I'm a technician, and I can pretty easily caught myself having focus on software functionalities, technologies, and of course, if you just consider a common R&D department, of course, the software you can see here in the middle could pretty easily be the software used in that R&D department, like Inventor, AutoCAD, Navisworks. It could also be Vault in the middle, handling all the data created in those applications. But if you just forget about software for a moment and just look at the R&D department isolated, because surrounding that department, there's a lot of other departments that need something from the R&D department. It could be the production that need drawings. It could be installation side that need installation layouts. It could also be the ERP system expecting bill of materials, item informations. It could be the service department expecting to have a spare parts list delivered. It could be the purchase department having list or information about the different components that need to be purchased as part of the project. It could also be the sales team that needs sales layouts, different materials that could help them in the supporting the sales process. And for each of these areas or departments, you could question yourself 4 different questions. So first of all, what needs to be delivered? And second, when should it be delivered? And how should it be delivered? Should it be delivered to a disk, for example, on a network share? Which also leads to the 4th questions, from where can it be accessed? So if you have the answers for those 4 questions, you probably also have a very good feeling of what should be in the middle to support all of these different departments. So, and with that said, there are also different approaches. So on first hand, we could have like a manual approach, which means that if you, for example, inside Inventor, create a button, and every time you press that button, there will be a PDF file created from your Inventor drawing. That would be a manual process. You need to remember to press the button to update the PDF file. But it will also be a standardized process, because the same thing will happen every time you press that button. So you can control the appearance of the PDF file, you can control the naming and the file structure of the PDF files. The second step could be the semi-automatic, which we also call event-based. So every time you save an Inventor drawing or change a property, check into Vault, whatever event you could imagine, can basically trigger the publish of a PDF file. It could also be a lot of other things that are very triggered, but just to give you an example. And the last approach is the automatic approach, which also is the most secure approach, because we can ensure that nothing will be released in Vault, for example, unless the criteria and the conditions for the data to be released are fulfilled. So everyone has the same method. And of course, it's also possible to integrate the data with others. So this is just to give you an impression of the different approaches of how you can work in a solution. And of course, the solutions can be a mix of that. So with that said, our Evolver suite covering the manufacturing area is specifically designed to support how you create data, how you prepare data, but also how you collaborate with your data in the end. And just to give you an overview of the product landscape of the Evolver suite. So on first hand, we have NTI for Inventor, which is basically just an add-in that we put on top of Inventor. It comes in 2 different flavors, a professional and an essential version. And of course, this is the product we will have focus on today. So I will let Peter give you all the details in a moment. We also have NTI for Vault. And NTI for Vault is an extension to the different Vault flavors from Autodesk. So we have a client version, both for Vault Professional, but also for Vault Office. And we also have an extension for the Autodesk Vault job processor. As part of the Evolver suite, we also have the NTI configurator, which is basically a front-end configurator that runs on web and it can be used by end customers, your sales organization, everyone that needs to configure a product and request a quote or order it directly. And as a last thing, we also have our integrator, which can integrate different systems. For example, we can integrate Vault with your ERP system in a bidirectional approach. We can integrate to PLM systems. We can basically integrate all kind of systems in a combination. And the integrator also comes in an essential flavor with a more limited amount of functionality, and hand in hand what we call an NTI integrator client, which is installed on top of the Vault client. So this is just a very, very brief overview of the product landscape of our Evolver suite. So with all of those products, we can basically have many different levels of solutions. So here I just provided 4 levels, moving from entry to integrated level. And for each level, you can have a mix of the products. So on the first level, we have Inventor. We have probably also Vault Basic and NTI for Inventor Essential. So from my opinion, this could probably be the lowest level of what you could consider as a solution. And there's also a manual approach used in this solution. And if we move up these different stairs, we will exchange some of the products. So on step 2, we have Vault Professional, we have NTI for Inventor, we have the Professional as well. So here we begin to have the semi-automatic approach, where we could do event-based publish of files, for example. With the extended, we move forward towards the automatic approach. So we have Vault Professional, we have the Autodesk Vault Job Processor, but we also have the NTI for Client and NTI for Job on top of it to ensure that when we begin to use lifecycle approach inside Vault, we are in a very controlled process. And of course, on the last step, we have the more integrated approach. We begin to integrate the different business systems into the engineering systems. And of course, in between those 4 levels, there can be 100 of different levels as well. It's just to give you an overview how the mindset in these solution concepts are. So why NTI for Inventor? NTI for Inventor is basically designed to give you a more efficient data creation and handling. It will definitely help you optimize workflows and help the users to correctly name and describe data quickly and easily when you create data. But it will also help you reduce engineering time and deliver faster to market by having the rights to have up-to-date overview of engineering data, even though you are working on, for example, the first level that I just showed you. And of course, it will ensure that the data is created with an innovative approach. It should be easily to create data and ensure the quality in the data. And of course, it also delivers a standardized approach to extract part list, cut list, spare part list, whatever list you could imagine having a need for. And it will ensure design representation files like PDF, DXF, or step files being published and shared with a standardized and an efficient approach. So with all that said, I will hand over to Peter for him to give you insight into what NTI for Inventor is capable of. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you, René. Yeah, first of all, what is NTI for Inventor? NTI for Inventor is a collection of features that fill out the gaps that we see in Inventor, first of all. It comes in an essential version and it comes in a professional version. So we have 2 flavors of it with more or less features. And it's basically made for automating some of your routines, and it's a lot of the functionality is to ensure the quality of the data that you publish out from Inventor. So yeah. If I hit the next slides. The core features, we have three approaches. We have an approach called create, where we are creating all the data, all the informations that we are putting into the Inventor file to enrich them. We have a number generator to ensure that you have a consistent number generation, that you avoid duplets and so on. We have a prepare state where we are publishing out PDF, TXF, and step files with our advanced publish tool. And we also have a documentation station to get an overview of all that published data we create from NTI for Inventor. Lastly, we have the collaborate approach, where we are extracting part lists, and we are publishing those derived files into Vault. The first thing I will talk about is the main thing I see it in our product, NTI for Inventor, is the property editor. The property editor is a place where you can manage your properties. You can type in properties, and you can create lists of property to ensure that you get this correct data to fill out all the places that you are using these properties. It could be for file naming derived files as PDF step files. It could be for information in your bill of materials. It could be to search in Vault, basically. So so this is a very important part of our tool. Is it's the property editor. Yeah, it gives you a comprehensive control of your properties via lists, via lookups in Excel, via lookups in SQL. You have a fast approach to managing these properties, so you don't have to go through several clicks to just turn up your property management. But here is the property editor, so it's right on your screen all the time. So it makes it easier, and it makes it, what you see, more reliable, and it ensures that the data that you're pulling out from Inventor is in a correct way, in a company standard. Yeah. I have a little demo of what we are talking about here. First of all, the property editor is, as default, placed beside the model browser in Inventor. But if you want to, you can move it around just like the model browser. You can dock it beside it. You can also dock it below it. You could, yeah, of course, drag it to fit your size. You could dock it at the right side, and so on. Exactly, it managed exactly like all the other tabs in Inventor. And of course, I can move it back where I left it. The first thing we have this property editor split up in two different what we call groups and sets. What you're seeing here is a group, it's a property group, and you can have all the property groups that you need. You can turn them on, you can close them, and afterwards you can put them into what we are calling property sets. In this case, I have two property sets containing two different property groups, like this. The first thing that's I will see in this editor is that I have a red dot, and this red dot means that the field I have to type in is mandatory. So when I save the part, I get a dialog box up that says if it isn't filled out, I will say remember to fill that property out to ensure that the data is filled out, yeah, so to speak. So now I'm putting in some information manually, just typing in information. It could also be the description, and we can also control the length of the sentence that you are typing in. So if you, for instance, max 120 characters, then you could set up that validator for the property. And of course, the revision that I'm typing in here is only when I'm not having a workflow. The mass from Inventor and the BOM selector is also can also be managed in the property editor here. The next thing is that now I have an assembly open, but maybe I want to change some things in the part contained in this assembly. So we are able to control the part properties or the sub-assembly properties from within the assembly. So I'm just hitting the part priority, picking up a file from within the assembly, and the property editor will shift to that exact part's properties. So I can again type in the title that is also mandatory for parts. And as you see here, the properties is based on which kind of document you're opening. So this one was a part, so I have another set of properties for the parts than I have and I had on the assemblies. Again, I will just fill out what's needed. I have the mass property, automatic calculate. I have the material, and the material is based on what you have in your inventor. So if you have a company standard material library, you can use that, of course, in this editor. I also have the ability to make the categories before the materials in here, so I can easier sort them out. Again, I have my BOM selector. So if I think this is the purchase part, then I could mark it as purchase. This list is what we call a lookup. And the raw material I have in here is basically some information dragged out from an Excel spreadsheet. So when I'm pitting the flat bar in here, it will automatically calculate what's value or what's raw material number this kind of material have. So we can make lookups in SQL and in Excel as I showed you here. Then we have a surface area for paint. So if you need some information from the parts or the models, you can automatically calculate them in the editor. This one is just a simple list we have typed into our settings. So it's just a simple list that we can look up in. The last thing here is Boolean properties, so true false fields. So in this case, I have the cut saw, or I could see this part should be machined or something like that. So based on what I'm choosing, the text will appear in the root in this case here. So so I'm able to put on some information of what should happen with this part later on. So that's also a case we can use in the editor. Now I have just opened a sheet metal part, and again, the title is mandatory. So if I save it without typing in anything in the title field, then I will get this message box. So I will just give it a title and of course a description, just like I did in the assembly. And of course the revision, as I said, yeah, if you have a workflow involved, this field will just be a read-only field. So down here I have some calculated values. So the dimension of the sheet metal plate I have in here is 250 times 120 times 12, and it had automatically put that into the property. I also have the number of bends in here. I have the number of cuts, so I can calculate the price of the part. The sheet metal cut length is also automatically put into the property, and lastly the surface area for painting. I will just make a little correction of the parts, make it, I think I make it 300 millimeters bigger, or the height should be 300. And instantly when I'm hitting apply in the editor, you can see that the property is changing because it's based on the size of the model. So I avoid that with a manual typing of a dimension. I often forget to correct it when I change the part. Here it happens automatically. Yeah. And lastly, I also have the root as I showed you before. In here, I will just type in a project number. So this project number I want to copy to a lot of the other parts because they have to have the same information in the project number as I have in this assembly. So I have now the ability to copy different kind of properties. I could copy several at a time, or I could, as in this case, copy one property. So I will tick the project number property, and afterwards I will point on these parts that I have to copy the property to. So I could singly add them, or I can cross mark them to mark several at a time. And I could also, with standard inventor functionality, hit Control and mark them again, and then unselect them. So yeah, that was just what I did there. And you can see at the bottom that the parts that I have marked, they will be shown in the dialog box below. When I'm satisfied with what I have done, then I could hit OK, and the project number will be copied into these parts. I could, as I said, choose several properties at once if I wanted to. Now we'll just try to open the part so you're able to see that the number is copied into this part. And you have the project number that says 6060 8060-1. Yeah, as you saw there, that when I hovered over the property, we also have a tooltip. So if you hover over a property, then you will get an information of what this property is. Yeah. The next thing we have in our portfolio here is the ability to standardize file naming. We have something we call the standard number generator, and it appears both in the essential and in the professional version. So we are able to get a number from a number counter, and when you're hitting save, every time you're hitting save, then you're able to drag a new number. This number generator also works if you have the vault numbering scheme turned on. You will see later what benefits it could give you. And lastly, we have what we call a document wizard. It's more a question-based number generation. So you will be asked some questions, and from these questions, it will take a number from a certain number row, and it will place the file in the location that the question asks for. Yeah, why should I have a number generator? If you have the Vault Professional, you have one built into it. But if you haven't any Vault Professional, only Basic, or you are using the Windows Explorer, then you're in a big needs of a property editor. A number generator. And that's of course to ensure that you have a consistent naming, and to ensure that you won't get any duplicated file names in your assemblies or in your database. It's also a lot faster. If you have a number generator, you just have to hit save, then we'll take a new number. You don't have to think, or what should I call this plate for whatever. So it's a lot easier to get the things done or saved. And yeah, in this clip I will show you how it works. And it just have to start. How to standardize file naming, and yeah, I have a part and it hasn't been saved yet. I will just turn on the number generator. If you have turned it on once, it will be turned on the next time you're opening Inventor. It just have to load the module now, so it take a few more seconds than if you have it turned on already. This is the number generator. It contains the ability to save locally, as you see here. It will save your file locally. But if you have a vault, it also looks into the vault so that you're able to see which which folders you have in the vault. And when you're choosing a folder, it will automatically copy that folder structure down to your local workspace, and you're able to save in it. You have a prefix, and you have a suffix. You don't have to use them, but you can, and you can get a preview, and we'll just drag a new number from that role I have set up. In this case, it's 6 characters. So, but it could be as many characters as you want to. Again, my property editor is built into this number generator. So it will appear when you're saving your files to remember to fill out different lists or different properties. So yeah, it's also pretty convenient that you have the ability when you're saving to also type in your property. The list is working also. The lookup list is working in here, so it's exactly the same as you have directly in Inventor. Also the Boolean field at last. So now I'm hitting save, and as you can see, you will get that new number of files, and you're good to go. In here, you can see the thing that I put into the property edit from the number generator. It will, of course, appear in the standard one. Yeah. In the next step, I will just show you how it works if you have a vault number generator turned on. So it's pretty much the same, but as you see here, I'll just make a save as to put up the generator again. You will see here you have your different numbering schemes from Vault. You have them to look up in the NTI for Inventor generator, and you can hit a preview and see the next number in the row. So yeah, you're also able to combine it with our prefix and suffix if you want to, as I did in this example. And of course, to the left, the ability to pick out what kind of vault folders you want to save in. Yeah, and as before, it will give the part the correct number. Yes. The next thing, it's what we have called the documentation status. And the documentation status only appear in the professional version of NTI for Inventor. It gains an overview of your design data. It gets a view of your representation files, so you can see what state they are. Do they have to be updated? Do they have to be deleted, so to speak? Do they have to be created? Yeah, in this documentation status, you're also able to get an overview of which part list you have from certain assemblies. So you can also put them into the status. And of course, you have to see the relation, able to see the relation for the inventor files and the status involved. So you have a lot of status symbols that make you, yeah, get an overview of what you have created in Inventor. Yeah, yeah. Why? It helps, of course, you to make sure of that you have created the new PDF files after you have saved your IDW the last time. And it does this via some indicator icons, so that you're able to see if it has to be updated or created. Yeah, it's easy to publish files from within here, so you can create your DXF, PDF, step files. Everything was as Inventor are able to save as, you can pull up in this status menu. I have a little picture of the interface just to to show you how the status symbol are working. You can see in here that you have a drawing that has an explanation mark. So this one has to be created. So it informed me of this part doesn't contain any drawing, but all the other drawings is created that I have to create drawings from, and the PDF is also up to date. That means that it has been saved after the drawing file. I will just show you how it works in Inventor. We want to prepare the data to export it later on here. In here, I have the editor. I have an information about what kind of property these different parts or sub-assemblies contain. I can set it up just like I want to. I can put in the title, description, the subject, whatever property I want to fill in here, I can put in here. I'm also able to take the property editor. Now it's fill up a lot of the space in Inventor, but I can drag it and put it into my second screen if I want to, and have the overview on my second screen. Of course, I'm also able to dog it down below here again. And I can start managing my files contained in this assembly. For instance, I have, as I said, the status symbols that says that this IDW hasn't been created. I have an update symbol that says, okay, the part has been changed. I need to update my drawing. I have a function called force update, and it will on the fly just save the part in the background, and so it will be have the changes that the part have been made, the changes that has been made to the part. I could afterwards manually just create the PDF. So I just right click on the symbol and say create PDF, and I can see now that the PDF has been created. It has been placed on the right location, and it's up to date. I could also bulk mark the documents in here and create more PDF at a time. In this case, I will combine it now with what we call advanced publish. So the advanced publish is basically just a button in this case that say create all PDF files from this assembly. So I'll just hit PDF all, and you can see that I'm getting now a green icon that says, okay, this PDF is up to date, and it will be put out in the location where the PDF file has to be. And it will be named correctly because it's the standard that I've set up for naming my PDF files it will use. And you can see now in the right menu that I have two icons that says, okay, all the related files from this part has been updated. This one needs a DXF files or a DXF file. So yeah, I could just right click on it and say create DXF. I could also use the advanced publish as I showed with the PDF files to create all the DXF files, but this is just an example to create one manually with a right click. And these one also need updates. Now I want to put some filters into this. So in this case, I only want to see my sheet metal files from this assembly. So I have created a filter in here that says show me the sheet metal files, and it will only, of course, show the sheet metal files. And I can see that I have a lot of files that hasn't been created. So I will just use the advanced publish to say create DXF, and I hit the DXF button, and of course it will create the DXF files, name it correctly after my standards, and the update symbol will appear, or the right symbol will appear in the documentation status. I could also, from this menu, show the DXF files in the folder location, and you can see here that they are just placed in a Windows folder. but it could also, of course, be a share or something like that. And it could be checked into Vault if I want to do that. So yeah, we can create these derived parts from different events. Now I'm just marking 5 of these DXF files. And the reason for that is I want to export them and mail them. So I have a customer that or a sub-supplier that should create these files. So I'll just zip them in a folder, give them a name, of course, and create an email contain this zip file. I could also save them locally if I want to. So I could just make a folder for where they should be placed. And it will automatically open up your Outlook, and yeah, save the files in Outlook. I think it's stalled. Oh. Just a second. Could you briefly take over, René? I just have to close this program.
Yes, definitely. So I will just should I bring up the PowerPoint slides as well?
No, I will. I should just start this over again, like this. Just a second.
Yes. So in the meanwhile, there have been a lot of questions in the QA. I'm trying as best as I can to answer all the other questions. Many of the questions are related to what we're actually seeing right now for the different type of properties, how to handle properties, but also how to ensure that there is a more uniform way to maintain and handle the properties. And
I think I'm ready again, René. So thank
great,
you.
Peter.
Yeah. Okay. That was what we call the documentation status. And as I said before, this is pretty much attached to what we call the advanced publish. So the advanced publish could also stand alone, so you could just hit the button and publish these files without having the documentation status turned on. But the advanced publish appear both in the essential version and in the professional version. So you could also in the essential version create these PDF files, these DXF files, and so on. One thing we have in the professional version that isn't in the essential version is the ability to publish directly into Vault. So in the professional version, we can create PDF files, and when we are checking the files into Vault, we will automatically, of course, get the PDF files with the IDWs into Vault. And we're also able to via that put the persistent ID into the PDF file so that we can track the correct PDF for the correct version of the IDW file or a step file or what you want to publish from. Advanced publish, as I said, it's an automation of what Inventor can save as. It could be a button, it could be a save, it could be a check-in in the professional version. And it ensures consistency in your data. It standardizes the naming, because the naming of the files we're publishing could be any kind of properties. It it could be the way the placement of the file could also be based on properties. So if, for instance, you want to create a specific project folder from a project number in the file, you could do that and publish all the PDF files into that. So this is also one big strength of creating related data with the advanced publish. Yeah, I will show you in here what the advanced publish also are capable of. First, I will just creating step files from all the containing parts. That's pretty simple way to do it. So it will create step files from all the parts. I could make some conditions that says only the one that marked with laser cut should be created, or something like only sheet metal part, or but in this case I've just chosen to say create a step file from all the parts in this assembly and place it on a folder. Yeah, and you get a little notification that says, okay, I have published some step files to a certain location. Another thing we're able to do is we can stamp the PDF files that we are creating from this assembly. So in this case, I have chosen to say I want a dialog box that says what I'm typing in will be stamped on every PDF. So for instance, here, a project number, and then when I'm hitting OK, you can see in here, I have all my PDF files created. All the parts that has a IDW on it will also have a PDF files. And I will try to open one of them here. And as you can see now, I have a stamp in the left of the drawing, 90-degree upright, and I could place it anywhere on the drawing I want to, and I could rotate it as I want to. You have a project number as manually typed in before I created the PDF. I have the top assembly number. It's also important. This part is contained in this top assembly, and the quantity of it is 1. So this is also a possibility to stamp the PDF file with information from the top assembly and the quantity from the top assembly, and also I manually type in. In this case, I could try to open another one from the same bunch. It has, of course, the project number as I typed in, the assembly number, and also in this case, I have to produce 2 of them because there was 2 in this assembly, so it has the quantity 2. So a pretty nice feature to stamp PDF files. It could also be a stamp for instance, for review or something like that. The functionality also works on IDW. So if I want to open my IDW and just create the PDF from then with one button click, I could do that. Or it could also, as I said before, be a save or be a check into Vault. Yeah. Next step is our what we call part list extract. And the part list extract is the ability to pull out bill of materials in an Excel spreadsheet, or it could be as an XML file or a CSV file if you want to, for instance, import it into any ERP system or something. But have in mind that this isn't validated data. It isn't. It's just created from Inventor, so to speak. It hasn't been through any workflow if you're publishing something to ERP here from. But we could do it. The part list extract is basically XLSX, XML or CSV files. Of course, it standardizes your bill of materials, which is, for instance, a company logo or a standard template where you have your information in. It could be named as you want to. It could be placed where you want to. from properties within the assembly or within the parts. Yeah. The next, I would just show you how partless extract is working. Yeah, it's basically 3 buttons I have created. One for the total bill of material. I will try to show you how it looks. And Excel is opening, and I have information from the top assembly at the top of the spreadsheet. I have information from all the parts contained in this. This one is structured, as you can see in the left of the position. You have a thumbnail in it. You have a part number, material, or any properties that you want to pull out. This is the parts only. I have a tab where I have my parts only list, again with a thumbnail, and these information I want to export. We could also create what we are called, we could call them sorted lists, for instance. In this case, I have a list only containing sheet metal parts. But it could also be contain frame components or components with a certain information. I have a quantity in here. I have the bent quantity. If you have more than, I could make a field where I said this should have to be bent 3 times. I could have the dimension in here, and I could have the cut length. I could have all what you have in your properties you can pull out in these Excel spreadsheets. As I said before, this one can also be shown in the documentation status, so you can see if you have remembered to update your latest bill of materials. So that's also a possibility. Yeah. As I start saying, we have more than 50 features in this program. I can't show you all today, but these ones are what I would call some of the rest. We have an ability to synchronize properties from the drawing to the model or from the model to the drawing. I will show you later. We have a batch print, so you can be in the assembly, print all the drawings in the assembly. You can create drawings from the assembly, so you can just open an assembly and say create all IDWs from the parts or sub-assemblies in this one, and you can make a what we are called a custom template. You can change your title block and borders in one click or via an automation in here. But I will show you in the upcoming video. Yeah. This part is contain. I'll just create a drawing for this part. And if you see here, the title, the drawing title isn't filled out because it's empty. We normally just put information on the models that responds in the drawing header. But in this case, I want to copy the property from the model to the drawing when I'm placing the model on the drawing. So now I'm able to search for the text involved, for instance, and see and also search out the IDW, because it will also contain the title, for instance. If you see here, I'm typing in the description on the part, save it. As soon as I open the drawing, it will automatically copy the description into the description field in the drawing. So I'm able to copy properties from the model to the drawing and vice versa. You can see here, I've just opened the standard Inventor property dialog, and you can see that the title is copied in, of course, and also the description. So I can copy properties around. this case, I have an old Autodesk drawing. I want to make my company logo on it, and I want to change the border. Just with one click, I have set up what I call A3 NTI, and it will now change the appearance of this drawing, change the header, and change the border in one click. I could also update the styles on the drawing in the same. So if I have another color system or another dimension style, I could change that in the same time. I'm also able to change the from landscape to portrait, and yeah, I could control the appearance of the drawing with one click. It could also be on an event, on a save. I will do that. Then we have my print assembly. I'll just open a standard assembly, and I'll say, okay, I want to print all the documentation in this assembly. So in this case, to make it a bit more simple, I will just print all the sub-assemblies in there. I will, just standard search for it. I will sort the prints via the model browser. So the way the model browser appears, or how it looks, how it is showing up in the model browser, it will also show up in the printer. So I could just say get sheet set up, and it will gather the information from the sheets on the different IDWs, and I could just afterwards say, okay, every print should go to the same printer, so I'll just mark all of them and say, okay, my custom printer should have this print. So every single of these prints will go to the same printer. I could also pick one of them and say, oh no, this one should be pulled out to another printer. A new thing we have here in the new upcoming version, we're able to, when we are printing the files, also make a stamp on the print. So it it will not appear on the IDWs, but only on the prints. And when we are printing, we could stamp them like I showed you with the advanced publish. Then I have the function called drawings, create drawings. I could say, okay, I will create a drawing from all the sub-assemblies in this one via this template. It should have a top view, a side view, and an ISO view. And I could say, you should have hidden contours. It should be shaded, or what kind of appearance I want the different views to have. I could say retrieve dimension. So retrieve the dimension from the sketch into the drawing. I could also, if I use the model-based definitions, check the model-based definition and put those dimensions into the drawing. And lastly, I could keep them open, because of course the drawings won't be done when I have done this, but they have been created and they've been saved alongside the model that's in the drawing. So that's also an important thing with this. We force the users to save the drawing alongside the model by doing or by creating the drawings from the function in NTI for Inventor. Now it will go through all the drawings, and you can see here I have the ability to create, of course, different sizes, the orientation of the drawing on. If I have different title blocks, I could also choose between them. And I'll just use an NTI function, open newest drawing. So if it is a newer drawing local, it will open that. And if it is newest in the vault, it will open that. So also a little function hidden in the tool, or in the NTI for Inventor. Yeah, that's all the Q&A. Benny, have you?
Thank you so much, Peter. There have been a lot of activity in the
nice
in the Q&A. So right now I've actually answered above 20 questions.
Okay.
It's actually varies a lot, the different questions, but a guy here, he asked directly if it is possible to upload data to ERP systems without the need of the Vault integrator, just using NTI for Inventor. And of course,
yeah, what we have done, or we are able to do, we can deliver an XML file and place it in a folder. Then the ERP system has to take that XML file and put in the information, or gather the information from the XML file. We have no direct import to ERP. But as I said, remember that if you want to do that, it isn't controlled data. It's just pulled out from Inventor. So it isn't via any workflow or something like that. But yeah, you're able to pull out an XML file that the ERP system can read. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now we're actually running out of time. The time is 11. We will continue answering a few questions, and of course we will follow up on the questions that are not answered during this session. So I'll just take a few more questions, and then we will end the session. So the guy asked, is in the part properties, is it possible to get the automatic dimensions for the total measure into the title field automatically?
For the total measure, or the
total?
Yeah, into the title. Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
You could combine them. You could say, okay, I want to, in this property, type in something in manual, but my title is a collection of, for instance, a custom property and the dimension of the part. So yeah, you could do that. And you could say, if you could make a condition that say only when you're having a sheet metal part, it should put in the dimension and something like that. So you can control those properties with the editor nearly in the way you want.
Great. I think I'll take one last question. Is it possible to stamp Vault PDF files? And that is actually what we will cover in our next webinar, March 13th, where we will walk you through all the capabilities we have with the NTI for Vault products. And a part of that will definitely be how to collect and stamp Vault PDF files.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also one asking, we keep mentioning IDV files over and over again, but will the export function also support the GPD files?
Yeah,
and of course.
Old habit. Sorry, but yeah, of course, also the DWG files. Yeah, it's
yes.
yeah.
So what else? We have yeah. So when you check out, now if you open a file without checking out the file from Vault, and you edit the properties in the property editor, there's a difference between the 24 and 2025 version, that the 2025 version will not prompt you to check out. I actually answered that question, Peter, during the session, and answered that in the configuration of NTI for Inventor, you actually have an option that denies you to edit properties in the property editor unless the files is checked out. So and it will be grayed out, and on the button where you apply the properties edited, it will just say files is read only.
Yeah, the color of the property editor will also change if you have a read-only file open.
Yeah,
it'll turn red, and if you have another, for instance, another model state than default, it will turn yellow.
exactly.
So, yeah.
So with that said, I think I will end the session, and a very big thanks to all of you for attending. And we look so much forward to have the next session, March 13th, having focus on NTI for Vault. So thank you all, and have a good day.